Ladies and gentlemen, so much has been dropping since midnight. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're here, please leave a like after snagging the seats, the perfect seats. I'm so fortunate right now. If you happen to catch us at AMC Universal for the Batman, come say hi. Got our tickets. And now there's two new TV spots that were unveiled by Warner Brothers. First one called New Friend that focuses more on Catwoman, and another one that I saw going around on Twitter, shared by the Culture Crave Twitter account, that focuses more on Riddler. Downloaded them as usual, threw them in a Final Cut, and now we're gonna watch them together for the first time, and then we're gonna talk about it afterwards. The first thing we're gonna do is watch this like 30-second TV spot called Wingsuit, see more Batman in the wingsuit, but then we'll just go into the other ones right afterwards. I am so flippin' excited for this movie. Let's get into action.
Vengeance.
Whoa.
You're becoming quite a celebrity.
Does it just go by vengeance at first?
Seems like your legacy, Bruce Wayne.
I'm here to unmask the truth.
Oh, this guy's hilarious.
Come on, vengeance.
Whoa!
All these locked off shots.
A straight POV shot of him.
Are you just hideously scarred?
Yeah.
Batman, rated PG-13.
You have no idea.
Only theaters.
Damn! Damn! Wow!
I want one.
New friend of yours?
I'm not so sure.
Looks like you upset her.
The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring. Let's get into some trouble. It'll be fun.
You got a lot of cats.
When I was 7, my mother was murdered. Maybe we're not so different after all.
Interesting.
This is more dangerous than anal. Who knows how many people it touches?
Carmine Falcone.
If we don't stand up, no one will.
Selena.
Whoa.
Don't throw your life away.
Destruction.
Honey, I got 9 of them.
I can't get over this soundtrack. Damn! What a whoa!
Did you ever just say hello?
Whoa! Holy shit!
I hope you're listening, Bruce Wayne. I'm just here to unmask the truth.
The mayor, the commissioner, murdered. The Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes.
Damn!
So monstrous.
For the sins of your father.
What have you done?
He will go.
What have you done?
You'll see.
Cool.
Maybe this is all coming to an end. What is? The Batman.
Oh. Say it ain't
No.
so, Bruce.
This is part 1. I am digging the score so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, that was revealing.
Yeah, it was.
Bruce.
Sins of your father, Bruce.
He's like a haunting nightmare. It's like if Bruce Wayne was told that there's some monster in his closet that has secrets coming out. You know, that's kind of the vibe I got. It's sort of
That's a
the
good way to put
theme.
it.
Just no, go away. I don't want to know.
What goes bump in the night and scares Batman?
Wake up, Bruce. Thomas Wayne was evil.
He was in the court of owls, Bruce.
Yeah. I got a lot from that. We're hearing that this movie is going to be pretty complex. And it's interesting getting trailers of these two supporting characters, Catwoman and Riddler, and how they tie in with their relationship to Batman. Yet they're two very different tones, and they seem like they're telling two different stories. It's like with Catwoman, you know, you get some of her backstory there about how her mother died when she was 7, but then you also have this like one brief shot in the trailer where Batman is carrying like a little girl. So it seems like with the Riddler, and kind of how Batman's been operating as of late. He's got his own vendetta. He's escaping through being Batman and letting out his rage and terrorizing criminals, but it doesn't seem like he's really being a hero. The ironic part that at least I'm gathering from his relationship with Catwoman is that even though she's Catwoman, the thief, it looks like he will find a way to become more of a hero through his dynamics with her and perhaps actually helping out the civilians of Gotham as opposed to, I want to go out there and beat up some criminals, you know? And then when he is dealing with like Riddler, which is like the bigger stakes, Riddler is sort of like this terrorist to Gotham at this point, which by the way, I'm loving Paul Dano's voice. I think Paul Dano's voice is actually pretty cool. And I know we were making our jokes, but I actually love just how insanely ominous.
Oh, it's so monstrous, yeah, in a way that very much fits everything else we're seeing here, yeah.
Well, he's also saying in that trailer, like, this is how the Batman will end. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on Twitter making the joke of like, why would the Batman end? Obviously not. It's not going to end the franchise. This is the beginning of it. Perhaps it's more indicative of the identity crisis that Bruce Wayne is having right now. It's like we've heard Andy Serkis talk about how Bruce Wayne and Batman are sort of like a Jekyll and Hyde situation going on here. And it seems like if this is the year 2 of Batman, that he's been operating on a certain presumption of how his identity as Batman is, and now he's realizing that this is not the path that he should be going down, that he is not really a hero. So he's got the dual complexity of who he is as Bruce Wayne in relation to Thomas Wayne that the Riddler is exposing, and how he's been as Batman in year 2. And it seems like this is sort of the reflection both of these characters will cause him to see upon himself. And I think that's why there's so much focus on them and what their purpose serves in terms of enhancing the Batman Bruce Wayne portrayal for Robert Pattinson. At least that's what I'm gathering from the trailers.
Yeah, I mean, it feels as though they're almost both in their own ways going to push Bruce into a corner where he has to confront and acknowledge himself and stop almost running away from the circumstances of his life through this guise of Batman. And I know Robert Pattinson and others have talked about how in this movie they're almost approaching that like some kind of addictive spiral. Like you said, I think it's an interesting note. It almost reminded me of a more fleshed out version of The Dark Knight Rises in the sense that she is, even though she also has the Catwoman, you know, cat burglar thief thing, she gives the more populist motivation to Bruce, but in that movie it's not a huge plugged in part of the plot as much as what I've heard Zoe Kravitz talk about. But I actually believe her this time, because a lot of actors say that, but I actually believe that we will see an exploration of that character. We've talked about the length of this movie and all the different moving parts, and it really does feel like from these ads they're so focused in on certain supporting characters, like we will actually get what drives her to become the Catwoman that we all know and love from the comics, what that will be in this movie. In their own way, both Catwoman and the Riddler, on whatever dubious ends of the law they are both trying to expose secrets that will ultimately lead to justice of some twisted variety. And I think that's a really interesting triangle to create, because you got these 3 characters who all have personas, who are all going after a version of justice, and it's hard to say at this point whose is going to be the right one and which one we're going to wind up between. And I love that we have those things to look forward to, as well as, you know, all the cool action and cool visuals and stuff like that.
I'm wondering with Catwoman, there's a femme fatale quality to her, at least in this portrayal, and especially knowing what Matt Reeves is sort of riffing on with in terms of film genre. We've seen Carmine Falcone, the mob boss, shown in this in her segment of this trailer, and there were some set photos that were released of her with Carmine, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I wonder if she's like playing some type of role of some like romantic character to him, but as a way to infiltrate something.
Yeah, doing the double agent thing.
Because you got mob boss you're dealing with, and you got Riddler, who seems like he's got a much bigger agenda. So it's like, and I feel like Penguin is tied in with Carmine Falcone. So I am curious to see like how this is all gonna. I still don't know. It's a big puzzle in itself. How this is all gonna come together.
Of the actual plot. Yeah. Because right now it does feel just like a big Gotham populated with a whole bunch of characters, which is great at the outset, and it's nice to have the mystery of this movie's gonna have a thick plot over 2 hours and 55 minutes. So what's that gonna look like?
All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here. This is revealing.
Super cool.
And oh yeah, the wingsuit stuff. That looked It looked awesome.
Yeah.
It looked great. Yeah.
More locked off shots, please.
That was amazing. It looked really cool. I love the way it just like
He just pulls that strap
it, goes into
thing,
it.
and then it gets all
Yeah.
like tight and
That was dope.
ready for flight.
That was dope. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, this was awesome. See you guys in the Batman.